in the center of the motion picture industry out here, I suppose it was natural that you wanted to become an actor.
Well, no, as a matter of fact, originally I wanted to be a singer, but unfortunately I had a voice sort of like a sad frog, so I had to give that up at an early stage.
What kind of a singer did you want to become?
Well, almost any kind, but my family were very fine professionals. My grandmother was named Madame Perini. She sang at La Scala in Milano. My grandfather was a very fine tenor by the name of Carlos Modini. And my uncle was, is, of course, Richard Bonelli, one of the finest baritones alive today.
Is your family Italian, Bob?
No, as a matter of fact, they're Scotch, Irish, and English. It seems that to be an opera singer in those days, a while back, you had to have an Italian name. And my grandmother's name was Mamie Perry, and she put an "ini" on there and became Perini, and my grandfather's name was Charlie Wood, and he turned it upside down. They became Charlie Mood. He cut off one of the O's and put an "ini" on that, and that became Carlos Modini. And my uncle's name was Richard Bon, and he put an "le" on that, and that became Bonelli. So you see, we're sort of Italians by adoption.
Now, I know that Rosemarie was a life cover girl and a fashion model before she became an actress. Rosemarie, did you and Bob meet while you were working together?
Well, not exactly working. We had the same agent. So we met in the office one day.
Well, that's kind of... he called up, as a matter of fact, and he said, I've got something that's pretty wonderful over here. And I thought, of course, he meant a script. And I walked in, I saw Rosemarie, and I agreed, and I went with her for a couple of years and broke both arms and convinced her she ought to marry me.
Well, that's a pretty good way. Bob,
I'm lucky.
Now that you're doing an hour-long dramatic show every week, it must be fairly demanding. Rosemarie, has your life changed much since Bob started The Untouchables?
Entirely. Yes, I never see him anymore. So I have to go to the studio and take dinner to him. And
you sort of have to take your fun when you can get it. Rosemarie brings me dinner and brings a tablecloth and the candles, and we try to make what little fun we can out of the very little time we have. But of course, we just finished building the house a short time ago, and I never see the kids, and I never get home, and it's that part is kind of rough. I'm not too happy about that.
Well, it is too bad because it's a lovely house. Rosemarie, did you have a hand in decorating it?
yes, I did. Would you like to see some of them?
I certainly would.
Now we get into the man's part of the house in here. This is the hi-fi set here, and you can spend any happy hours going crazy here with the tape recorders and all, stereophonic sound. Now this is some of the stuff that I won when I was a kid. Now here we have a gun collection that I'm pretty proud of. In a sense, the house is a little bit selfish, since I don't imagine too many people happen to have offhand 17 shotguns to sort of stick up on the wall, so its resale value may be a little bit dubious.
Rosemarie, are you a pretty good shot, too?
I'm learning.
She's more than learning. She went out the first time and broke more than half, and part of the fun now, since I don't get too much time for competition shooting, is teaching her to shoot, and next year we hope to go duck hunting together.
Well, I have a good teacher.
You're very kind.
Certainly The Untouchables, which keeps you so busy, is one of the most talked about shows of the season. How did you happen to pick a series with the 20s as a background, Bob?
Well, the show was almost picked for me. We did an original show, a 2-hour show called The Untouchables, based on Eliot Ness's book, and Oscar Frawley's book, and it had the highest rating of any show that year in drama, and as a consequence, it was decided to be made into a series, and as such, I'm very gratified that it's come off as well as it seems to have, because the audience has taken to it. It's a very exciting era, and it's a bizarre, strange, wonderful era in terms of theater, and we hope that we can bring enough validity to it so that the people who lived in that time can remember it nostalgically, and those who never saw it can see a part of Americana, which is now.